This is green screen right here. As you can see, it's real. So like if I want to put, any background like this or this or this, I could. I want to, talk about an issue that affects all of us going to high school in Miami-Dade County public schools. And that is the 10-20 rule. Now, for those of you who are, watching this video, you're like, all right, what's the 10-20 rule? So basically, Miami-Dade County Public Schools has this rule that says, all right, once you hit either 10 absences or 20 tardies, you are not allowed to participate in any sort of school activity. Now, I know what you're thinking. All right, well, what's my position on the issue? Well, I have a very mixed feeling about it. And I get both sides of the argument. Now, what are both sides? So you have one side here that says, all right, this is a stupid rule and it's meant to block out students from doing anything, and they shouldn't be blocked from doing anything because those are like once in a lifetime events, like prom. You only get one prom if you go, homecoming, that sort of thing. So then you have this side here that says, look, there's supply and there's demand. The demand's always going to be high. So what's the best way to determine? Is it at a first come, first served basis? Well, no, because then what if like half the people flocking to pay for the activity, have a lot of absences, a lot of tardies? Those people shouldn't be able to go because they've missed too much school. They've been there late too many times. All right, so in theory, this sounds great, right? You have the system that says, all right, we block off all the kids who shouldn't go, and the only kids who should be able to go are the ones who are constantly here and here on time. Now, my problem with the 10-20 rule is not the rule itself, because then you do have those kids who, who are always absent, always tardy, and it's like, you haven't been there enough, or you haven't been there too many times. My problem is how it's being implemented. So, what am I talking about? This is more of like a per teacher case where you could have one teacher where if you get there at like 30 minutes past when school is supposed to start, and you won't get marked tardy, as opposed to like a teacher where if you're not in the seat when the bell rings, you're just late. Like you get there a minute too late, you're just marked tardy. And 20 tardies, you can kind of work with it. Like if a student realizes by like the 5th or 6th tardy that they get there, like, holy shit, I need to like grind right now to get there on time, then they can make it work. I just don't think that a student should get marked tardy if they get there like 4 minutes late or earlier, like earlier late, because that's like totally within the margin of error. If a student leaves at the exact same time every single day, and that time for the most part it's usually going to get them on time, but then there's some times where it's like, all right, traffic happens, an accident, gas runs out for whatever reason, so they have to stop, they have to get it, and then it's like, all right, how many times does that happen before a student breaks the rule? And also another thing too is, not as many kids are, this is for the tardy part, not as many kids are lucky in the sense that like they live like 10-15 minutes to school. Some of them live like 40 to an hour away. Now I get it, it's like, all right, if you really want to come to this school and you really want to do things, you're gonna have to like grind to get here on time. It's not just gonna be given to you. And then along some of those people within the argument say, all right, look, if you can't get here on time every single day, or for the most part, if you can't get here enough times to where you don't break the rule, then you just shouldn't go to the school that you're going to right now. And my claim is that you don't really like know the situation. So like if some kid, I don't know, lives in Homestead, like how many good schools are there where that kid can just go there? It's like not as many educational opportunities, and those students might not be able to control how they get there. And what do I mean by that? Like, not everyone can just drive their own car. They have parents, they have siblings that take them to the school or bus or whatever. So it's like not all of them can control what time they get to school. And another problem I have with the 10-20 rule is I do not think 9 absences is enough absences unless you're accounting for the rule. What would my number be? My number would be more like 15 to 19 absences, around there. I think that's enough for, like, as long as you're not constantly missing school, it shouldn't be a problem. Because right now, guess you can only miss a school week in 4 days with the way that it's implemented now. Unless you're really accounting for the rule, I think that part of it is just going to break super, super easy. And for those of you who are trying not to break the rule, you know what I'm talking about. You're just like, all right, should I miss this day of school, or should I not miss this many days of school? For somebody who doesn't really care about the rule, they're always gonna, no matter how generous you are with the absences, for the most part, like, they're gonna break the rule no matter what, unless you raise it to like 40 or 50 daily absences, which no one's gonna be in favor of. I don't think the amount of absences that are allowed to students is high enough, and they do have an appeals process technically for, like, the absences right now. So you're a senior and you miss, like, I don't know, 12, 13 days, but like 4 of them are excused because you went to get them excused. You can go and appeal if you're not able to go to prom, but the problem with that appeal process is that it does take time. And because it takes time, you might not be able to, like, get it appealed in time to have a spot in whatever field trip you're trying to go to. I just think that the 10-20 rule, it really isn't about trying to keep absences and tardies in check. It's really more of a supply and demand control for field trips. And why am I saying that? Well, I mean, I'm just basing off of what I've seen, and I know people who have gotten CSI, and basically what CSI is, for those of you who don't know, is they make you wear these blue gloves and they make you, like, pick up garbage around, like, whatever school you go to. And they've given that punishment to kids who have broken the 10-20 rule. Now, at first you're just saying, all right, punishment, they learned their lesson. But then think about it like this. You're giving a kid punishment because they missed too much school. And your punishment is to have them pick up garbage, which at first seems a little bit gray area, but then you realize they're going to have to miss school, because it's not like after school or before school. No, it's just during school. Like, they put you on special note and they make you wear these blue gloves and they make you pick up garbage. And it's like, well, you're punishing them for missing too much school, and your lesson is basically, all right, we're going to have you miss more school? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. My opinion on this is very mixed, but I'm leaning more negatively. And, like, anyone who isn't conscientious of the rule but, like, wants to go on a field trip, they'll typically break the rule by, like, a few. That's what I've seen in most cases, where somebody can't go on something because they had, like, 11 or 12 absences, or can't do something because they had, like, 24 to, like, 26 tardies or whatever. So it's just, like, once you have that rule in place, and, like, once people break it, I've been through this before with my earlier story. Like, people, I know the mentality where it's like, oh, I already broke the rule. It doesn't really make a difference whether I break it now, or whether I stop breaking it, or whether I continue to break it, unless, like, somebody from the attendance just comes and tells me to not break it anymore. I'm gonna get the blue gloves punishment, which, I'll just miss more school, so it doesn't really matter that much unless they give me, like, a pink slip. But then that pink slip, all right, for those of you who don't know, a pink slip's just kind of like this thing they just tell you, all right, you can't, like, if you continue, you can't graduate, but it's really more of a threat. So it's kind of like, whatever. It's just whatever. Like, that mindset of, I already broke the rule, so therefore it doesn't matter whether I continue to break it. So at that point, you're encouraging it. If I had broken the 10-20 rule by now, I just would not care about getting to school on time or just being there, because it doesn't make a difference, because I wouldn't be allowed to do anything. So, what's the point? In conclusion, the system should be reformed. And I know this was kind of like a rambling video, but I just want to be raw and be behind a green screen.